Hi Year 11s, today we're going to do a demonstration for Mediterranean risotto. It's on page 318 of your textbook. There's also a recipe up on files too. So first of all, we've getting all our ingredients together. Make sure you've got everything that you need to do. Now you can also modify if you don't have some of those ingredients that are in the recipe at home. You can modify it. So let's have a look at the ingredients. First up, the recipe says 3/4 of a cup of chicken stock and 3/4 a cup of water. So I've made some up here. So I'm actually going to double this recipe because it's only for one. So I'm going to make it for two for lunch. Okay, so I've got my chicken stock and water together. I've also got some olive oil ready to go. My olive oil bottle here. Okay, so then it's an onion. So it says half, but I'm doing a whole. We have got some garlic cloves. We have got some pine nuts. Now, don't know, pine nuts are delicious. This is the brand that I just got from Safeway. So we've got pine nuts, arborio rice. Now I've got a cup of arborio rice. Now arborio rice is short grain rice and it absorbs all the moisture and it becomes quite glutinous. Okay, we've got some black olives here, pitted. We've got some sun-dried tomatoes chopped up. Now, it says a half a cup of chicken. I didn't have any chicken, but I did have a couple of chorizo sausages. So that says a half a cup of cooked chicken. These aren't cooked yet, but I will fry them off with the onion when I do the onion. Parmesan cheese, cream, basil, they're all in the fridge ready to go. Okay. So this is all it's great to have this already, which is called your mise en place, remember? So this is all ready. We're going to go over to the stove and start to get things done. I'm going to chop up my onions finely, and that is one of the first things that I should have done with my mise en place, is get everything ready, but I hadn't. So, yeah, so slice everything up, ready to go. Now, step one in the recipe says to heat up your chicken stock. So risotto is a method of adding stock slowly to your rice and as it absorbs. Now you don't want a great big gooey mess of rice, gluggy mess of rice. You want it to be nice and liquidy but absorbed properly. Okay, so we want our onion to be nicely and finely chopped up. Okay, so I've got all my ingredients here. I've got my 2 pots ready to go. Now I'm going to, the first step says to heat up your chicken stock. So your chicken stock should always be warm. The reason why you need to do this is because you want it to, you don't want to stop and start the cooking process when you add your stock. Okay, so I've got that and that's going to warm up. Okay, I've got a pot here for my risotto. I'm going to add some oil and I'm going to then add my garlic and onion, and I want to fry that off, but just softly. I don't want it to brown at all. I just wanted to get it so it's nice and translucent. That probably take about 3 or 4 minutes. In a separate fry pan over here, I'm just going to put a tiny bit of olive oil on the bottom so it doesn't stick, and I'm going to fry off my chorizo. Now if you're putting chicken in it that's pre-cooked, that's fine, but just fry that off so it's cooked through. Okay, so I've got my onion frying off there. Now we don't want it to brown, remember, not brown, because we're going to add our rice to that and we don't want burnt bits to it. We just want to soften it off. Okay, so my onions are getting nice and soft now. Now it says to add your garlic and your pine nuts and just fry them off a little bit. Now next step is to, turn that down a bit. Next step is to put your rice in. Now you want to coat the rice completely with that oil and just sort of just stir fry it a little bit. You just want the rice to go transparent. Now you can see that I haven't browned anything in there. Okay, so this has been just going for, I don't know, a minute, and my chorizo is now cooked, so I'm going to take that off the heat and just set that aside. Now what we want to do here is add some of the hot stock to our rice. Now it says 1/3 at a time in the recipe. You can do that. I like to do a couple of ladles at a time. Now as you can see, that didn't stop the cooking process, okay? Now we want to cook that until it's absorbed, and then you will put some more in. You can see? So it's quite liquidy. You want that to completely absorb and then add some more. Now I've got this on a low heat, and you want to continually stir it. So risotto is a very patient, you have to be very patient when you're making risotto, because you need to. Now that is nearly completely absorbed, so then you can add another ladle of, another 2 ladles of your stock. And the cooking process did not stop then, okay? Make sure you continually stir it, because you do not want it to catch on the bottom. And it can't at the moment because it's very soupy. Okay, I'm still going with this. I've still probably got half of my stock to go. This process you cannot rush. Like, you just need to be patient with this, and it takes 20-25 minutes. So a good risotto will take about 40 minutes to cook. Now I know some of you might have Thermomix mixers at home that you can just, and apparently, I don't know, they make beautiful risotto that you can just put in, walk away. But this is just a nice process to go. At this stage when you're adding stock, you can also, like right at the beginning, you can also put a splash of white wine, which is always lovely to deglaze the pan. So we'll just keep going with this until all our stock has been absorbed. Okay, my rice has absorbed most of the liquid. Now we don't want it to be too gluggy. It is a little bit, it's not quite al dente yet, so you can see that it's still got a, I don't know whether you can see that, it's still got a quite a opaque, it's not translucent in the middle. So you can add a little bit more until it's al dente, and then we need to take it off the heat, put a lid on it, and let it rest for 10 minutes. So take it off the heat and let it rest for 10 minutes. Okay, so the rice has been sitting here for 10 minutes, and I'm just going to have a look at it. So it's at a really nice consistency. It's not too gluggy. Just taste it. There's still a little bit of tooth to it, but you want that, okay? Now we're going to add the rest of the ingredients to it, which is a chorizo. Now you've got to be quite gentle with this. Now I've put it back onto low heat. Got my chorizo, my olives, sun-dried tomatoes. Now the olives and sun-dried tomatoes I only just got at the deli at the supermarket. Our Parmesan cheese. And basil. And our cream. And I'm just going to warm that through and keep it stirring, and just so that all those ingredients get it back up to temperature. Okay, my my risotto is ready. Now it's full of beautiful ingredients. I'm just going to serve it up now. Now that cup of rice has made more than 2 serves. I reckon there's probably 3 serves here. So I'm just going to, nice beautiful bowls of it. I'm going to pop some basil leaves on top, and then just some shaved bits of Parmesan. And there you have it. We've got our beautiful Mediterranean risotto. Enjoy. Have fun cooking, guys.